guys. Hi, good morning. My name is Melissa Butler, and I am on Ashley Kisslinger's team. I'm one of the champs on her team, and Tonya and I are going to host this call together. I just wanted to share, first of all, I know there's a lot of brand new people on this call who maybe have just joined in the last week or two, and so we're going to keep this really basic. We're going to talk about some basic steps and business building activities you can take right now in this 30-minute block of time and kind of just work alongside us. So we're going to give a directive. Tonya and I are going to kind of go back and forth, and we're going to also be putting some wording and things in the chat that you can save to your phone, or you can utilize them right away to make it easier for you. So that's kind of how we're going to structure this. I'll let Tonya introduce herself real quick.
Hey guys, I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. This is my first time doing this for the big team, so thank you for having me. Like Melissa said, we're just going to give you some easy tips, some DMOs that we do every single day that helps to push our business forward. We're going to be working alongside you, so thank you for having me. And Melissa, let's just go ahead and get started and dive in.
Okay, sounds good. So what we're going to start with today is something we call warming your feed. And this is something you can do every single day. It's just going to help kind of boost your engagement on social media so that when you share things on social media, you get more responses back. So what warming your feed basically means is you're going to interact with as many people in the next 5 to 7 minutes that you can. And you do that by commenting on their posts and their stories. Likes are great, hearts are great, but the more you can actually use words to comment, it's going to be even better. So what Facebook realizes is it goes, oh, well, they're friends. I'm going to show more of their content to each other. And so we call that warming your feed. So for the next 5 or so minutes, we're just going to knock out as many comments as we can on non-provers posts. So you want to avoid commenting on just your friends and just other promoters on your team. You want to comment on people who have not drank ketones yet, people who've not been introduced to this conversation. So if you go through your newsfeed and you realize it's mostly full of provers, then that's kind of how you need to reset your algorithm, is by finding those friends that you don't see their posts as often and commenting on their content. So we're going to spend the next 5 or so minutes doing that. One thing you can do is just scroll through your feed and find those people and add genuine, heartfelt comments to their content. Ask questions on their posts. Maybe they are going hiking somewhere and you say, hey, where are those trails, or something like that that causes some engagement back and forth. And then the other thing you can do is go to your friends list, and you can actually sort your friends list. You can sort from newest friends first, or you can sort oldest friends first. So it pulls up people that maybe you haven't seen or you haven't engaged with their content recently. So we're going to do that for the next couple minutes. So I'm going to be doing it over on my computer. So everyone kind of buckle down for a few minutes, and let's comment on as many people's posts as we can. And if Tonya, if you have any extra tips for that, feel free to throw them in.
Okay. One tip I do want to add is, as you guys are building your business, and if you notice all your new promoters and your teammates start to friend you on Facebook, that is amazing, and we want them to kind of emulate what you do, what we do as leaders, and we want them to be able to see our posts. But what happens is, if you go and you're commenting and liking other Prove It people's posts, including your own teammates, they're going to be the people you're going to see in your news feed. So what I always go and do is, when I see that one of my promoters on my team friends me, I will go and actually unfollow them, and so that their news feed is not showing up in mine. And I make sure to, if I need to go boost a post for them, I will. If if there's somebody new and they're asking for, for us to share a testimony or something in their comments, I will. But I really try to unfollow most of my team and most Prove It people, even though I still remain friends with them.
I love that. I do that same thing. We want to support our team for sure, but we also want to make sure that we're getting the content that we need on our page so that our content gets shared with the right people.
And you can easily find out if you've forgotten to do that. I mean, if you do a quick scroll through your Facebook feed, and everything that you're seeing are your people, you know that you need to go back and go through real quickly and unfollow their posts.
So you might be going through on Facebook posts right now, but don't forget about stories as well. So you can go in and engage with people on their stories, ask questions, comment on those as well. So try to aim for doing like maybe 10 or 12 comments on Facebook and then 10 or 12 on stories. If you have already done this morning, you've been warming up your feed, then one thing that the next step that we're going to be talking about is Freebie Friday and how to get up a Freebie Friday post today. And so if you're not sure what graphic you want to use, what picture you want to use, then that's something you can be doing right now. Better Starts Here 2020, our large team page, has an album called Freebie Friday that is full of graphics for Freebie Friday. You're welcome to use one of those. I will say that it's best if your picture is of you, if it's personal. So if you take a selfie with your drink, or maybe it's of your kids or your cute dog, something that represents you and your personality is always going to be better than a graphic. But sometimes we're short on time and a graphic is better than nothing at all. So you can go ahead and be kind of finding what picture you're going to want to use for that post right now if you've already done the warming your feed. So we'll give you a couple more minutes and then we'll dive into that post.
Another thing you can do if you've already warmed your feed is you can go to your suggested friends list and add 10 to 15 people. Make sure, I've noticed that a lot of these suggested friends are actual Prove It people. So I will scroll through, make sure it's not a Prove It person, and then I will add them as a friend. I have people that actually do that to me as well, and they send me, I had one this morning, she's like, I was just, connecting with 10 to 15 people. And I was like, great, because I asked her, I was like, thanks for the friend request. How did you find me? And I just started having a conversation with her in Facebook Messenger. So she was actually doing the same thing. So we've been going back and forth, just kind of creating a relationship. So same thing, what I'm asking you guys to do is if you've already warmed your feed, then either look for the picture for our Freebie Friday post or go and add 10 to 15 suggested friends or even friends that you've been following in like any of the groups that you've been working in.
Someone just asked in the chat, how do you unfollow? Where do you go? So when you're on that person's page, you should have the menu icon where you can click that, and you should have the option to just unfollow versus unfriend or block. And unfollow just means you're no longer going to see their posts as frequently. And that's how you do it. Pretty simple. So throughout the 30 minutes, you can be continuing to warm your feed if you kind of have a stall and you want to be making sure you're doing something. But we're going to go ahead and jump in to getting up our Freebie Friday post. So if you're brand new and you're like, well, what is Freebie Friday? You keep saying that. We'll explain it really fast. So every Friday, Prove It puts out a new Keto 101 YouTube video, and they pulse it out in our Pulse app. So if you don't have the Pulse app downloaded, make sure you do that now. They typically pulse that out right at 11 o'clock. So I haven't had a chance to check my pulse and pull it yet, but it should come out soon if it's not there already. And basically what they do is every Friday they post that YouTube video link, and then they have some instructions for how anyone can enter to win a free 20 serving box of ketones. Basically, they're going to require them to watch the video and then answer a question, like kind of like a fill in the blank. And you'll answer that question in a comment on the YouTube video, and then also include your Instagram handle. If you don't have an Instagram handle, then you can just include your email address and then your name. And that way, when they drew the drawing tomorrow, they're going to choose 10 winners to win. Each one is going to win a 20 serving box of ketones. So pretty amazing. Promoters can enter, customers can enter, current customers or brand new customers. So this is a great opportunity to figure out who's been watching you share your story on social media and who might be interested in ketones. And sometimes free, the option of free, is what really entices people to jump in. So what we're going to be doing now in order to take advantage of that is we're going to put up a post on our social media, just kind of piquing curiosity about Freebie Friday. You don't want to take the instructions for Freebie Friday and post that, because if everybody did that, then it might get marked as spam. You want to have that conversation privately in a personal message with that person. So we want to get a post up though that piques curiosity. So maybe, like I said, a graphic or a picture of yourself holding your drink. And you can say something like, who wants a chance to win 20 days worth of my super mama fuel that gives me all the energy, the mood, the mental clarity, the deeper sleep, and the fat loss. So something that kind of shares the benefits and asks who wants to be entered to win. And then at that point, you can say something like drop a GIF or your favorite emoji in the comments, or you could say drop your favorite Friday meme, something just kind of fun that causes engagement on the post. And then once people comment on it, we're going to give you instructions on exactly what to do at that point. And we're going to give you some scripts in the chat that you can save to your phone. We'll also put them in the comments of the Power Burst post in Better Starts Here. So you have them after this as well. But we're going to put those in the chat too. So right now our goal is to get up our Facebook post for Freebie Friday, Piquing Curiosity. So if anyone has questions about how to word that, please ask. Again, I know I went through that really fast, but just something like, who would like a chance to win 20 days worth of my super fuel or my magic mama drink, whatever you call it. And then you can say, you can share a little bit of your story. You can say, maybe you've been drinking it 3 weeks. You can say, you know, I'm down 4 inches. I'm feeling amazing. Would love to share this with you. Drop your favorite Friday meme and I'll send you all the details. If you've been drinking it longer than that, you can simply just talk about the benefits, whatever works best for you. But the best thing is keep it short and simple. You don't want to make it super long. Keep it short and simple just to kind of pique curiosity and cause them to ask or cause them to want to be entered.
And it is live.
Awesome. Okay. Did you grab the, can you copy and paste it into the chat for us?
Mm-hmm. Now remember, do not copy and paste this whole thing into Facebook. Don't even paste it in the comments. Just take that conversation. If someone says they're interested, just tell them, great, I will private message you. And then you can just talk to them in the side. And then we're going to put some comments like Melissa said.
Yeah. I love what you just said about don't even put it in the comments, because then you're missing the opportunity to have a conversation. And the whole point of doing this Freebie Friday is to see who's interested in ketones, give them a chance to win, but it's also a follow-up tool for you, because after the winners are chosen, they're going to choose 10, which is amazing, but there's going to be a lot more people that enter than 10. And so this is a great opportunity for you to say, hey, afterwards, for you to say, hey, you know, I'm sorry you didn't win, but I'm so excited you're curious about ketones. I'd love to tell you more. Or I'd love to share with you options for getting started. So we're going to give you some of that wording.
Hey, Nicole, you're asking about post a selfie with your drink for this. Absolutely. So I literally, right before I got hopped onto this call, I took a picture of myself with my shaker cup, and I just did like a little portrait video and used a cute filter. And I was smiling. So that's what the picture I'm going to use. I'm going to put that up, and I'm actually typing it right now. I'm just going to put, hey, Melissa, it's not allowing me to put in the comments the whole thing from the Pulse.
Okay, that's okay. Everyone should be able to grab it from the Pulse app, or we can put it in the comments in Better Starts Here as well. So I have made the mistake in the past on Freebie Friday that when someone responded that they were interested, I immediately just messaged them those full instructions, right? Rather than engaging with them first. And so something that Ashley taught me a couple of weeks ago is to engage first. And so the wording, Tonya, that I put in you and I's chat that says, hey there, I'm excited you're interested in winning some free ketones. If you could grab that and put it in the chat, that's what I'm going to go over. So the wording I would like to use this weekend is I'm going to say, hey there, I'm excited you're interested in winning some free ketones. Are you already familiar with ketones or ketosis? So I'm opening a door for a conversation and waiting for a response. So depending upon how they reply, then I'm going to respond and I'm going to say, if I sent you a quick video, would you watch it? And then it does a great job explaining what ketones are and the benefits of drinking them. So I'm giving them an opportunity to watch that campfire video first to understand what ketones are. Because they might have just been curious because I mentioned energy and fat loss and mood, but they still don't know what ketones even are. So I want to make sure I give them the opportunity to watch that campfire video and learn about ketones. And then after they watch that, I might ask, you know, what did you love most about it? Or what benefit are you looking for the most from drinking ketones? And then I'm going to say, okay, here are the details for how to enter to win a free 20-serving box. And then I'm going to give them those instructions from the Pulse that tell them exactly how to enter. Some people I've noticed when they go to comment on the YouTube video, they're not as comfortable commenting on YouTube videos, or they've never done it before. The comments are set to private on the YouTube video so that people can't see each other's answers. So sometimes when they put their comment in, they're not sure they did it right because they don't see it underneath the video. Just let them know that that's normal. If they need extra instructions on how to comment on a YouTube video, I know that there's a video that Christina did in Better Starts Here that explains it. And so you can search for that video, how to comment on a YouTube video, in the Better Starts Here 2020 Facebook group. All right, I'm gonna check the chat real quick. So we should be working on putting our posts up.
One of the really important things that Melissa just talked about was creating a conversation with them and not just throwing into the chat with them, you know, the instructions on what to do, because really at the end of the day, our number one goal is to create a relationship with someone and to build upon that relationship. And they may not be right. And the other thing is, if they don't win, if you've kind of built that relationship in the conversation, they may be ready to jump right in and buy a full box tomorrow if you've kind of already buttered them up a little bit and just kind of explained what ketones are to them a little more than just, hey, go do this, go do this. You know what I mean? So just working on building that relationship with the clients, I think, is so important. And just, you know, kind of what we do here, you know, we're here to help people, to educate people, but also to help people and to build these special relationships. We're not just here to sell one box of ketones. This might be the start of a conversation that in 30 days, they may become a promoter. You know what I mean?
I love that. Another thing that I want to add that's kind of just something extra you can do, maybe you've been doing Freebie Friday every week for a few weeks or a few months. Something different that you can do this time is we have so many fun seasonal flavors, and every time they drop, they sell out like crazy. So if you happen to have some of those seasonal flavors on hand, or maybe you have a variety of some of our support products, you can even offer to do your own Freebie Friday in addition to the free ketones that Prove It's going to give out. You can offer and say, anyone who comments on my post, I'm also going to enter in my own drawing for a free trial of seasonal flavors or a free trial of support products. And so you're kind of giving them another chance to win. And it's a little bit more personal this time because you're only drawing from the people who commented on your post who are interested. So you can either do that through your post. You can also just include that when you're messaging them. You can say, hey, I just wanted to let you know, because you're participating, I'm going to enter you into my own drawing as well. So it's just another layer of building that relationship and giving them an opportunity to try the product and get excited. So after the fact, they're going to draw, I think they cut it off at 10 a.m. tomorrow is the last, the time point that you have to have commented on the YouTube video by. And then they typically post on Instagram the winners over the weekend. And so once those winners are shared, if your customers or your potentials obviously did not win, then you're going to want to reach out to them and say something along the lines of, I'm so excited that you entered to win. I'm sorry you didn't win this time, but I just want to remind you that we do this every Friday. So I'll keep you on my list and make sure to reach out next Friday as well. But I would love to know if you'd like to hear about some of the awesome options for getting started now with ketones. I'd love to send them over if you're interested. So something like that. I think I have some wording as well for that.
Yes, I'm going to put it in. I'm looking for it now.
Let's see. I think it's.
I'm going to do the follow-up one, and then I'm going to go ahead and put in the options to get started.
Perfect. So whenever someone says, yeah, tell me the options. This is something we started doing in the last month that's worked really well, is rather than just offering a 5-day trial or just offering a 10-day challenge, giving them 3 options to get started and letting them choose what's best for them. So she's going to post those 3 options in the chat. Option 1 would be a 5-day trial. And I say it's a 5-day trial for $35, just a chance to kind of dip your toes in and see what flavor you like best. Option 2, a 10-day challenge, and I explain what the 10-day challenge is and give them the price as well. And then option 3, she just posted it. Option 3, I mentioned the 40% off bundle. You'll notice that the 40% off bundles right now are sold out in the cloud with the True Passion, but fingers crossed, they haven't said Dollar Keto Club is over. So what that means is we're probably about to get new flavors. So leave out which flavors are included. It's okay to still tell them we have a 40% off bundle, but leave out which flavors are included, because hopefully sometime today we'll know what those flavors are. And you can give them more information about that if they're interested. And so I simply send them, if they say, yeah, I'd love to know options, I send them those 3 options, and I make sure to keep that question at the bottom: which option sounds best for you? And it's been amazing how many people have said, you know what, that 3rd option, it seems like I really get the most for my money that way, and I really want to give this a go. And they go with that 3rd option, which is awesome. But if you don't ask, they don't know. So that's why we wanted to share that with you. I know that's been working really well for a lot of people.
Right. We will always want to end whatever we're doing with a question, something that they're going to have to respond to. I don't know if you just said that, Melissa, or I was thinking it. I don't know. But she ended that with, which option would you prefer? If you just give them the options, but you don't give them a reason to respond to what you just posted or what you just commented, it's kind of an open-ended conversation.
Yeah, I say you left the ball in their court, or you left the ball, yeah, so they have to respond back if you ask the question. Love that.
I did not used to do that, and I've been doing that, and it works so well, because it's just human nature to respond to a question, right? But if you were to just type something and it's not giving them something to do to respond back to you, they just might just read it and not respond. Sarah Green made a suggestion she always suggests everybody to actually subscribe to the Prove It's YouTube channel, which is a great suggestion.
Yes, I actually, I thought about that today, something I haven't done in the past as well with Freebie Friday. I have a way that I reach out to all my customers. I use a Hit 'em Up app. Some people have a VIP customer group, or they have a VIP customer messenger chat. I choose to use the Hit 'em Up app so I can send personal text messages out. And so one thing you can do is just let all your customers know, hey, I just wanted to remind you it's Freebie Friday. If you'd like the details on how to win a free box of ketones, shoot me back a message and I'll be happy to send it to you. So you're not just giving it to them, right? You're causing them to have to engage back with you, so you know that they're interested. And then the other part is, it's a great time to remind them and say, make sure you have the Prove It Pulse app downloaded so you have access to the instructions for Freebie Friday every Friday. The more we can get our customers plugged into our community using our resources, the better experience they're going to have, and the longer they're going to stick with us and continue to enjoy their ketones. A lot of people are here more for the community than anything else. Okay, the next part, I wanted to talk about stories, but before we do that, because I know not everyone is comfortable with stories quite yet, the other thing that you can be doing once you have your post up, you're starting to have those conversations on the side. I also like to make Friday a big follow-up day for me for the week, because throughout the week, I might have been offering 5-day trials. I might have been piquing curiosity in other ways, but we're about to head into the weekend. I know I'm going to be busy with my family, so I want to make sure I get in a lot of follow-ups with people that I've started conversations with. And so we have some wording in here that's really simple. It's the very last one, Tonya, and it simply says, hey girl, I wanted to follow up with you. I know we have talked about ketones before. We have a couple exciting deals going on currently. Would you like me to send them over? And so that's just some really simple follow-up wording that works really well, just to kind of reignite that conversation with someone that might have fallen flat. So people I look for, sometimes I just do a search of my messenger chat. I'll search the word ketones. I'll search the word options. I'll search something that will bring up old conversations that I might have lost over time just because of all the other conversations I had started. So searching your messenger chat is a great way to find those. Hopefully you have some system that you keep for keeping track. I'm a paper and pencil girl, so I write it in a journal. Some people use apps or their notes on their phone, whatever works for you. The other option is going to old posts of yours and looking at people who liked or commented or maybe consistently are liking your Prove It posts or your ketone posts. And then also going back to old Freebie Friday posts, people that maybe you thought you were going to follow up on and you just missed it. I know there's some for me from last week. It's just been a crazy week that I have not had the chance to follow back up and offer them the 3 options and kind of re-engage in that conversation. So today's a great way to do that, because I can say, hey, another chance to win. Plus, I want to see if you're ready to get started regardless of Freebie Friday. So that's a great thing to do as well, is focus on follow-ups and use that really simple, short wording and send that out to as many people as you can today. Then the final thing, we have about 4 minutes left. The final thing is Facebook stories or Instagram stories. You may or may not be really comfortable with building stories yet. And if not, that is totally okay. I was not at all about 6 months ago, and my daughter's looking at me through the window. It distracted me. But that's a muscle I'm trying to grow, and I'm trying to learn more. So you can access your story through Instagram or Facebook. I have mine connected just because it makes it easier for me, and I like using the tools in Instagram more than the tools in Facebook, but they do transfer over. So my suggestion with your stories today is, if you don't have any tiles in your story yet, then your first tile should be something personal. So maybe it's a cute picture of your family or something you're doing this weekend. Maybe it's a favorite quote. Maybe it's something funny for Friday, whatever you want it to be, but make sure that first one is personal on your story. Then the next tile could be a Freebie Friday tile. So it might be that same picture you posted. It might be something different. It might be a graphic. But what I love to do is somewhere in that tile, say something about, would you like to win a free trial of my Super Mama Fuel? And then I like to include, rather than waiting for them to send you a PM from your story, I like to include a poll. So in the stickers option in your stories, there should be one for a poll, and you can actually personalize. It'll pop up and say yes or no, but you can type in on there and personalize what it says. And I like to always make both of them positive. So I'll make one that says, yes, would love free ketones, or something like that, or yes, send me deets. And then on the other side, I might put, what are ketones? So for someone who's curious or just kind of started following me, they can click that one, and then that's an opportunity for me to send them the campfire video and start that conversation as well. So personalizing the poll helps a lot. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to hop off mute or put them in the chat. But make sure that we warm our feed, get our Freebie Friday post up, get our Freebie Friday story up with a poll, and then continue to follow up today.
One thing I want to add to the stories, I was not utilizing the polls. Not only are there polls in there, but there's also a new little thing that says DM me, and you can add a little question, like I've been putting 5-day trial packs at the top of it, and then you just click it because it says DM me. I have gotten so much. I just started doing this because Melissa and a couple of the people on her team are getting great results from the polls. I was utilizing the stories, but I was not putting in, just like in starting a conversation and leaving it open-ended. If you were talking to them in messaging with them in Facebook Messenger, this is kind of the same thing. I'm posting about it, but it's giving them an activity to respond to. And so I have gotten like people that I had no idea were following me on Instagram start reaching out and asking questions. And one thing I want to show you to do when you're in there, you can go and see, I've got a bunch, I'm not adding anything yet because I've got a bunch in mine already, little tiles, but you can see who's watching your, it says seen by like 100 something people, seen by 10 people, seen by 38 people. You can go click on that and see who's liking them, and then you can reach out to those people. You can also see in your polls, you can click on the poll and just screenshot it, because these little tiles only stay available for what, 24 hours, Melissa?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
so
24 hours.
Click on the poll, and I've tried to screenshot everything. So if I cannot get to them right this second, or I want to follow up with them, I know who reached out to me or who was liking my poll, liking my feed in Instagram. But the polls and the questions is amazing. And I have some people that are like, oh, I accidentally clicked that, but I didn't. And I still have a conversation with them and say, hey, well, have you ever, I saw you watched my stories. Do you have any questions? You know what ketones and ketosis is, anyways, it's an opportunity to have a conversation.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. And I do the same thing. Life gets busy when you're a mom and you've got other things going on. And I'll look and be so excited. So many people responded to my poll. And then I've had it happen one time where the 24 hours went by and I didn't reach out to a couple. And I was like, no, who was it? And so make sure you screenshot it so you can go back, because the follow-up is key. That's the most important thing about Freebie Friday. I think we're over time now, but the most important thing about Freebie Friday is the follow-up. The post is great. Engaging is great, piquing curiosity is great, but the follow-up is key, and making sure that you have the opportunity to share the options for getting started with people. And that way you can utilize that as a tool to grow your business every single week. So, all right, I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions before we hop off?
Hey, Melissa, I think that, you know how you can go back to your story archive once it's away? I think you can pull up who's voted on your story from your story archive.
See, you learn something new every day. I had no idea. Awesome. I'm going to play with that. Thank you.
Where do you,
I appreciate
where is
it,
that?
You're welcome. Okay, so if you go to your phone, you have to go to your like your main page profile.
Okay. On Instagram.
And click. Oh, thanks. Good. You click on your store. Like, there's the three. What is the next? Hang on, let me look.
It's at the top.
I'm pulling over.
If you click on your page, it's the top right.
Okay, so next to where it says add story, there's the three dots, and then when you click those three dots, it says story archive.
Awesome. I thought it was just gone forever.
Can you hear me?
We lost you for just a moment.
Okay, sorry. When you click, if you're on your Facebook page, there's next to where it says add story, there's three little dots. Click those three dots, and it says there's a whole list of things, and story archive is one of them. You can pull up and you can reshare anything that you've shared in your stories in the past, but you can also look to see who's looked at it or who's voted on a poll, anything like that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love it. All right. Any other questions or tips? We can all learn something new.
Yes, I love this so much.
All right, I think if that's it, we're going to go ahead and close out. We will take the scripts and the wording that we put in the chat. If you didn't have a chance to save it, we'll make sure that that goes up in Better Starts Here 2020 underneath the comments for the action hour today. So I hope everyone has an awesome Friday, wonderful weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Freebie Friday.